guys! Welcome back to Glitter Nom Nom. I am Annette if you are new here. Don't mind my background, it doesn't know what it's doing today. So today, I am finally sitting down to start my series of aesthetics Q&A, nail Q&A. I was gonna do this all in one go because I had narrowed it down to 10 really good questions, and I actually ended up, by the time I got to sitting down and filming this, with more good questions, and I really couldn't decide from that point. So I changed my mind, decided to do it in 2 parts. This is gonna be part 1. So let's get into it. Question number 1, do I have to cut my cuticles? Here's the answer, no. But cuticles, I personally have seen this happen. It's usually men that let their cuticles get this bad. I have seen cuticles that have grown all the way up to the smile line. Right up there. Your nail's developing its own exoskeleton. So you should regularly moisturize and push back your cuticle if you don't want to cut them. If you do want to cut them and you're comfortable cutting them or having them cut professionally, by all means do it. When you get gel nails or acrylics done, we typically have to cut the cuticle because the last thing you want is that product to touch the cuticle. If you are going to cut your cuticles, please God, use a pair of nippers. I've seen so many people use those stupid little things. They look like a fork and it's tiny and they scare me. They're scary. You can do so much damage. Whether you feel you're good at them or not, or you're comfortable with them, those can damage your skin so bad. And I've seen them go wrong. Question number 2. Best at-home treatment for damaged or rough nails. This one's super easy. Short of just generally taking care of your cuticle area and keeping your nails filed, use a strengthening gel. These are my favorite. You can use any nail strengthener if it's an oil-based or spray, whatever. Just whatever you like, whatever smells good. I like ones that smell good. My personal favorite is the Sally Hansen nail gel strengthener. It's got little beads in it and you put it on with a dough foot and just massage it into the nail bed. Nail strengtheners, regardless of how good, tend to dry out your nail plate. So after you use any kind of strengthener, you're going to want to replenish all of that dehydrating that you did with an oil. I pretty much use any cuticle oil. I have a whole assortment of them upstairs in my room. And I kind of switch it up. You can get scented ones, literally any cuticle oil, strengthener, cuticle oil. And just, you can do that as many times a day as you want. Next, do quick dry nail hacks and sprays work. Nail polish takes approximately 4 to 8 hours to completely dry through because it has to dry through each layer. Everything is a factor, honestly, in how quick your nail polish dries, and anything that is a quick dry hack typically doesn't work. They're all just meant to basically freeze up the top layer. They will dry the very top layer. You're not really gonna get anything that penetrates the top layer. Here's my suggestion. Quick dry sprays are largely alcohol based, and I figured this one out working in a few salons actually. When I would have clients in the winter who would get pedicures that didn't want gel, obviously it's winter, they're gonna need to throw their socks and their boots on right after. Obviously you let it dry for a couple minutes, but if 10 to 15 minutes is all you have, once you hit the 10-minute mark at least, spray your nails with some alcohol. Shake them out, let them dry, and if you have to touch something, like put your hand in a mitt or put your hand in your hand or put your feet in socks, take a tiny little bit of oil and just drop it on the nails, and then your sock or your mitt will be more likely to slide gently over top of the dry layer without totally digging right in there. Next, causes and solution to nail ridges. This one's kind of hefty. The causes to nail ridges depends on the ridge. I have gel on right now, so you can't see it, but I actually have very deep ridges in my nails. I'm gonna use my pinky just to show you this. So, nail ridges that go up and down, like that. You've probably seen a few of them. I call them deck nails. They are typically genetic. There's nothing you can really do to stop it. There's nothing you can do to completely get rid of them. You're either prone to them or you're not. But there's nothing specifically tied to why people are developing these ridges. They usually show up late 20s, early 30s if you are genetically prone to them. No cure. You kind of just got to deal, but they're not going to hurt you. There's nothing bad about them. It's just not very aesthetically pleasing. Excuse me. The other kind of ridges are the ones that go lengthwise on your nail, or widthwise on your nail. These ones are typically caused by an injury to the nail matrix, which is the part that makes the nail down in here, just below your cuticle on the inside. You may have one of these and think to yourself, I don't think I've ever injured myself. I think I'd know if I injured myself. But when I say injury, I don't mean, I mean, obviously it'll happen if you like slam your finger in a car door or drop something heavy on it, etc., blah, blah, blah. But I literally could just mean you whacked your hand off the corner of a wall when you're coming around a corner one day. Or I've done it a million times. Stubbed your toe and now you've got this dent in your nail. Typically with those, they're not permanent and all you have to do is just let it grow out. Now, here's my tips on how to make ridges more bearable. This one might sound scary to some of you, so if it does, by all means, skip it. Don't do this part. One thing you can do for your ridges, if it's not a ridge caused by damage, if it's like what I have, where it's genetic and you just keep getting these ridges and over the years they just get deeper and deeper and more annoying, is you can buff those down, not file them. Don't try to file your nail flat. That's not gonna work. It's not gonna help. It's gonna cause damage. It's gonna make your nails sensitive. You may go too far into the nail plate. Just don't do it. I actually have some clients that specifically come to me just so I can buff down their ridges for them because they aren't comfortable doing it themselves. As far as you can, don't buff them, like I said, don't try to buff them down flat. You're not gonna get a flat, normal, pretty looking nail. The other thing is there's no pinpointed cause of them. It's just most likely genetic. Thus far, it has been proven to be genetic, but it could also be a calcium problem. And especially if you have a calcium deficiency or anything wonky like that, you don't want to be getting rid of any nail because you probably need it. This next thing you can use in conjunction with buffing them down, or you can just use this on its own if this is what works for you, but you can always use a ridge filling primer. They also have ridge filling base coats, which are basically the same thing. It's a primer and a base coat in one, and they work all happy to fill your little ridges. And again, this isn't a permanent fix. Don't expect a miracle. It's not going to, you're not going to put it on and all of a sudden you have a magically flat nail, unless, you know, your ridges are already really small to begin with. And the buffing I wouldn't suggest for an injury, but the base coat and primer you can definitely use if you have a dent caused by an injury. Won't hurt ya. And my last question, I love this question. Is it dangerous to have your nails done when you're pregnant? It's a tough one. The basic answer is no, it's not dangerous. There's no real hazards while you're pregnant. Nothing that you do to your nails is going to affect your baby. Here are some little facts that I want to throw in that kind of tie in with that. When you're pregnant, getting acrylics put on isn't going to hurt you. It's not going to somehow soak into your bloodstream or anything like that. Same with the gels. The UV's not going to cause you cancer, which is a completely different question, but I'm mentioning that right now just in case. Here's what I suggest you look out for or be mindful of if you are going to a salon or a spa while you are pregnant. If you're going to a place that primarily does acrylics and uses regular polishes, those kinds of things with fumes, be mindful of that because, one, you're pregnant, you're extra sensitive to everything. If the smell of these fumes is going to make you feel ill or basically just drive you up the wall, don't go or remove yourself as soon as it starts to really bother you. The other thing is, do your research on your salons and spas that you are going to, because if they are a chop shop, there is no way to guarantee what kind of fumes are in there, and I can probably safely say there will at least be one that will be harmful. That actually also goes if you are getting your nails done. The products that they're using on you in salons that are not legit or seem too cheap to be true. Those kinds of places. You don't know what's being put on your nails. It's the same as buying nail products from Wish. This is a whole nother video that I'm getting into now, so I'm just, if you have more questions about this, mention it to me and I will do a full video on sketchy salons and chop shops and things like that. But just to answer this question, let's backtrack again. You don't know what kinds of products they're using. You don't know what kind of fumes are in the air. So don't trust that. Don't trust it. Whether you're pregnant or not. If you walk into a spa or salon and something smells too off or looks sketchy, just leave. And the other thing is, essential oils when you're pregnant. Fun fact, didn't know this until I went to school actually. Some essential oils can be, I don't really want to say dangerous, but they can be problem causing if you are in the early or late stages of pregnancy. You can probably go and Google right now what those essential oils are. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there are certain ones that at the beginning stages of pregnancy can potentially, smelling them and having them on your body because you're absorbing them into your skin, can cause a miscarriage, and at the later end of your pregnancy can cause early labor. So that one would be up to your discretion. Do your research, just know. Also, if you're allergic to any of these things, you don't want to be having an allergic reaction while you are pregnant. That can also cause complications. And then the last part, which is the exact same issue as the essential oils, is massages. If you are getting a foot massage specifically, so if you're getting a pedicure while you are pregnant, you also want to be mindful of the massages. And I know that's the most ideal part of a pedicure, especially while you're pregnant and your feet are swollen and you just got off your feet. If you're going to the right place, seeing the right people, and you're mentioning this kind of thing, be verbal with the people doing your nails and doing your toes. We listen, we take into account, even if we think your reasoning is stupid. If you say, can you just watch this spot? I'd like to not be massaged there. Still get your massage, but tell them just don't touch this area. And again, you can Google that. But when you're getting massaged on their feet, there are some nerve points that could potentially, not guaranteed, but could potentially, again, in the early stages of pregnancy, cause a miscarriage or trigger a miscarriage, and at the later stages of pregnancy, cause or trigger early labor. That concludes my list of questions for this video. If this answered any of your questions, if you enjoyed just learning these weird facts, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if there's anything you want me to elaborate on, or if there's something that you just want to see one single video centering around, or if there's anything I didn't touch in this video that you want to make sure is in the next Q&A. Comments. I'm gonna be a broken record here, but I'm here for you, the people, asking the questions. As you guys. So thanks for tuning into this video. I hope this was at least a quarter of what you guys were hoping for. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post videos at least 3 times a week, sometimes way more. Hit that notification bell and you won't miss anything. I'll see you in the next video.